There's a fascinating and somewhat troubling phenomenon that affects vaccine adverse event reporting, and most people have never heard of it. It's called the nocebo effect, and it demonstrates how powerfully our expectations and fears can create genuine physical symptoms, even when there's no biological mechanism causing them. You've probably heard of the placebo effect, where people experience benefits from inactive treatments because they expect those benefits. The nocebo effect is the dark mirror. Negative expectations create negative outcomes. When people expect a medication or vaccine to cause harm, they're significantly more likely to experience symptoms, even if they're given a completely inert substance. Let me give you the research that proves this. In vaccination studies, researchers have given some people actual vaccines while giving others saline placebo injections without telling participants which they received. When people are warned about possible side effects, those who received the placebo report symptoms at surprisingly high rates. We're talking about headaches, fatigue, nausea, muscle aches, all the common complaints after vaccination, occurring in people who received nothing but salt water. The mechanism here is psychophysiological. Anxiety and expectation of harm trigger genuine stress responses in the body. These stress responses create real, measurable symptoms. Anxiety can cause headaches, nausea, fatigue, muscle tension, all the symptoms people commonly attribute to vaccines. When someone is hyper-focused on their body after vaccination, scanning for any unusual sensation, they notice normal bodily fluctuations they'd otherwise ignore. There's also a powerful social contagion element. When people read dramatic accounts of adverse reactions or see others in their community reporting symptoms, it creates expectation that increases their own susceptibility to nocebo effects. This can cascade through communities, with symptom reports triggering more symptom reports, not through any biological mechanism but through psychological priming. This creates a genuine dilemma for informed consent. Medical ethics requires disclosing possible side effects before any medical intervention. But research shows that describing possible side effects actually increases the rate at which people experience those side effects, even when receiving placebos. How do you balance the ethical obligation to inform with the knowledge that informing may create harm through nocebo mechanisms? Now here's what's critical to understand. The nocebo effect creates real suffering. When someone experiences headache or fatigue after vaccination due to nocebo mechanisms, the headache is genuinely painful. The fatigue is genuinely debilitating. This isn't imagination, it's not all in their head in the dismissive sense. The symptoms are real even though they're not caused by pharmacological properties of the vaccine. This means people reporting adverse events deserve compassionate response rather than dismissal, even when those events likely resulted from nocebo rather than biological causation. But it also means we need to be very careful about how we communicate about vaccine side effects. Amplifying dramatic adverse event stories can actually increase the rate at which people experience similar symptoms through nocebo mechanisms. The challenge is distinguishing between nocebo effects, genuine immune responses to vaccination like temporary fever or injection site soreness, and truly concerning rare reactions. All three categories produce real symptoms, but they have very different implications for vaccine safety and policy. Research on effective communication strategies suggests leading with normalizing language helps. Instead of "you might experience severe side effects," framing it as "many people notice their arm feels sore or they feel a bit tired," which means their immune system is responding, seems to reduce nocebo responses while still maintaining informed consent. Understanding nocebo effects doesn't invalidate concerns about vaccine safety. It just adds important nuance about the sources of reported symptoms and highlights why we need rigorous epidemiological studies, rather than relying on anecdotal reports to assess safety.